What's going on, my friend? It's Jeff Newpert from ChasingStrength.com. And in today's video, we are discussing kettlebell workout fat loss mistake number 8, the I word. What is the I word? Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. But let's cover a quick story to set the background for the I word, okay? So, on a recent rainy Saturday morning, I got up extra early on my usually one day to sleep in, so I could eat breakfast with my 10-year-old daughter. Now, what was she doing up early? Well, she had practice, gymnastics practice, and it was at 7:30, right? So you imagine what time we got up. It's probably around 6:30. And her practice lasts from 7:30, okay, till 11:30 in the morning, okay? 4 hours. That's a lot of work for a 10-year-old girl. Now, what do we have for breakfast? Well, mine was pretty simple. I had coffee, 2 scoops of collagen protein, a dab of coconut oil, a teaspoon of honey, and half a tablespoon of salt. And I usually have 2 of those for breakfast every morning. Now, hers was pretty simple too. It was milk, chocolate collagen powder mixed in with that, right? And then one of her mom's homemade waffles, which pretty filling. And the reason I let her eat like that, like the homemade waffles, is one, she's a kid, and we do that on Saturdays. But more importantly, two, she needs that type of caloric load to be able to survive and have the energy of 4 hours of gymnastics practice. That's 4 out of 16 hours of practice a week, not to mention all the extra stuff that she does at home on the trampoline, or her tumble track, her stall bars, and the rehab she does with her mom, who's a physical therapist, right? In fact, recently we found out that one of the reasons that she was having some issues with injuries is because she was under eating. She wasn't eating enough calories to actually keep up with the energy output, right, of 16 to 20 hours a week of gymnastics. Okay, so as a 10-year-old, we consulted a nutritionist, and the nutritionist said she needs to be eating about 2,400 calories a day. Well, that's crazy. That's just under what I need to eat a day, right? I'm around 2,800 to 3,000 a day. Why is all this important, right? Because it's through all these mistakes that we make that she makes that she learns how to succeed, right? Like it's the struggle of making the mistakes, which leads to her success. And look, man, that's the hardest thing for me to do as her dad, is to watch her struggle. My natural inclination is to step in and fix everything for her, right? And specifically for her, because she spent the last, what is it now? I think last 2 years is her third year in level 4, and she spent the last 2 years trying to get to level 5. So look, I promise this has everything to do with fat loss and the I word. Okay, just hang on and I'll reveal it to you in a second. But here's a little bit more about my daughter. I wonder why it's been such a struggle for her sometimes. I mean, after all, she's 10, right? She's in level 4. She's trying to get to level 5. She can do level 7, level 9, and even some level 10 skills on her trampoline, but she struggles with 2 major skills, which are back walkovers and back handsprings on her high beam. And that's because she's afraid. And what's she afraid of? She's afraid of what she can't see, right? So she can't see the beam in her head, her imagination. At least she couldn't, right? Now she's starting to, because we have her in a program that's helping her train her brain using her visual processing system. But she hasn't given up, and she keeps persevering. And I believe she'll get there because she's talented. And, that's not because I'm her dad and I believe in her. While that's true, the reason I believe she'll get there is we're empowering her to learn new skills to help her achieve her goal. Now, again, you might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with me, right? Like, get to the point, dude. What's the I word? Here's what this has to do with you. Impatience, okay? That's the I word, impatience. Most people give up on losing weight because they're impatient. Unlike my daughter, who's been busting her hump for the last 2 years, almost 3 years to get to level 5, most people will get through 3 or 4 days of a quote unquote diet or a new workout program and they quit and they give up. They just won't stick with it. They think, and I'm not saying this is you, you probably know somebody that this has happened to, right? You probably have a friend that this has happened to. Your friend thinks that things are magically supposed to happen just because they're eating less or working out more. And usually what they mean by eating less is I ate less today and I worked out today, right? As opposed to some period of time. Now, look, here's the deal with losing body fat and getting leaner, right? It is a process, okay? It requires patience. It requires practice. And most importantly, just like my little girl is learning, it requires vision. You have to see that here in your head. Now, look, we both know that you, or not you, I mean, your friend, right? You didn't suddenly wake up 10, 20, 30 pounds or more overweight, right? No, it was a process. You consistently did the things that told your body to create more fat cells, to put on more body fat. And so losing the fat is exactly the opposite. The same way you practiced doing the things, or your friend practiced doing the things to create more fat cells, you must practice. Okay, practice. That's the key word here. Practice doing the things to empty those fat cells of fat and burn off the stored fat as fuel, right? And in order to do that, like my daughter, this is imperative, you must have a vision of who you want to be, what you want to look like, and where you want to go. Okay? Does that make sense? You've got to see it here in order to see it out here, right? See it inside here before you can look in the mirror and see it reflecting back to you in the mirror. Now, is this easy? Well, it just depends on how you view it. What about the other two things I mentioned earlier? Well, we'll discuss those in an upcoming video or videos, all right? In the meantime, just remember, have patience. Don't practice impatience, practice patience. If and when you use the right tools, you can build or rebuild, right, whatever you need to do, a lean, healthy, resilient body that you're proud of, as long as you don't quit. Okay? Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, click the like button, click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and share it with a friend who needs a pat on the back or a kick in the rear, okay? And also, if you do need some tools, I'll leave some links to some of my best training programs to strip off body fat in the description below. And also, just feel free to leave me a comment about impatience, patience, and processes, okay, and what you've used in the past to succeed or what you've used in the past that has caused you to fail, all right? Until next time, my friend, stay strong.